I'm fresh off work, about to get you guys this video. This video is strictly about your habits, how to build unbreakable habits, how to create an unstoppable daily routine that forces you to be disciplined, but also gets you the results that you want. The number one thing that I've been focused on for the past month, going on 2 months, is strictly my daily routine. Because without a daily routine, I was all over the place. Like I would just wake up and I didn't really have any vision. I wake up kind of confused. What am I gonna do today? How many videos am I gonna post today? Am I even gonna post some videos today? Like what's the plan? I would wake up and I had to figure things out. But now I've kind of shifted. But even before I tell you how I shifted, let me just tell y'all exactly what not having a daily routine basically does for your life and how it hinders you. You're always gonna be 30 steps back without a routine because you wake up and you don't have clarity. You wake up confused. You wake up and you trying something new. Or even worse, bro, you wake up and you act based on how you feel, right? So you wake up, it's like, I'm not feeling motivated today, so I'm not gonna go to the gym. I'm gonna sleep in a little bit early, I don't really gotta do no work today. I'm gonna just take a day off just because I don't really feel like it. These are the type of things that's gonna linger in your head. You see how undisciplined this is? This is weak. This is a weak mentality. I'm gonna just be honest. A lot of y'all are in this position, bro. You can't be like this. You can't be like this to the point where you don't have a routine, you don't have any structure, you don't have any discipline. And the reason for this is you're too comfortable in the current position that you're in. You're just entirely too comfortable. And so the more comfort that you have, the least amount of results that you're gonna get, the least amount of progress that you're gonna get. Since I've been forcing myself to be more and more disciplined and more focused on strictly following a routine daily, I have been able to skyrocket my progress. I have been able to basically level up each and every day. I have been able to basically stay consistent by forcing myself to be disciplined, by not listening to this voice in my head telling me, sleep in for 5 more minutes. I don't feel like going to the gym so I can take the day off because I can still go tomorrow. I don't feel like making the videos today. I don't feel like posting on my stories. I don't feel like doing this. I don't feel like doing that. A whole bunch of I don't feel like. And that honestly does not matter. So I don't operate based on how I feel anymore. I operate based on what needs to be done. And if you do not adopt this mentality, bro, you are going to be stuck. Time is going to pass you by and you're going to look back and reflect, if you even look back and reflect, and you're going to realize that you've made no progress. And so basically, let me just invite you into my current daily routine and how I do things. So what I've been following is the 5-4-5 method. Now, the 5-4-5 method is simply 5 actionable goals, right? Now, we're going to break this down entirely. So sit back and relax and take notes, because if you're not using the 5-4-5 method, you need to adopt this method. Now, I didn't create this method. This came from John Mark Stevenson, so I'm not taking the credit, but this is transforming my life. So of course, I'm going to put y'all boys on game. But the 5-4-5 method simply is, the first 5 is simply 5 actionable goals. Now, when I say actionable, that means goals that force you to do something, right? The goal is not just, I want to make $10,000 a month. That's not a goal. A goal is, I will make $10,000 a month by posting 2 times a week on YouTube, by having 10 clients a month, XYZ, right? Taking actionable steps. By going out and booking 100 calls, closing 50% of them, onboarding those clients, X, Y, and Z, right? So in order for me to get to the goal, what do I have to do on a daily basis? So you have to really revise how you set goals. It's not enough to say, I want to get this car in this amount of time. I want to get this house. I want this. I want that. No, I will get this. You speak the goal into existence, right? I will get this by doing this every single day, by taking this action. So it's 5 goals. I'm not going to go into the goals that I have for myself, because one thing I've learned is, bro, you have to keep your goals to yourself. Because like when you start speaking about something that you're excited about, that you're anxious about, that you're ready to do, but you actually haven't done anything yet, you get a little bit of satisfaction just talking about it. And you get a little dopamine rush as if you actually did something, when in reality, you're just running your mouth. But the more that you run your mouth and not take any action, the less likely you actually are to take some type of action. So you have to have 5 goals that force you to take action every single day. Now let's get into the important part, the 4-step morning routine. This is so important because how you start your day is going to set the tone for the rest of the day, right? So a lot of us, we just wake up. A lot of y'all, bro, you just wake up and it's just However you wake up and however you feel, that's just gonna dictate your day, right? You don't have any plan when you first wake up, because how do you have a plan when you wake up? By planning your day the night before. If you don't have a plan of action the night before, when you wake up, you're gonna be confused. When you wake up, you're just gonna do whatever. So my 4-step morning routine consists of this. As soon as I hop out the bed, I hit my knees and I pray. So I'm instantly, the first thing that I do is I'm connecting with God, right? Expressing gratitude, thanking God for waking me up, letting me see another day, because without God, none of this is possible, right? God has blessed me with this platform, this audience, a job, everything that I have in my life, God has blessed me with. So I'm expressing the gratitude for God. Then I go right to the bathroom. I go right into the bathroom, brush my teeth, wash my face, you know what I'm saying? Do the little, basically, hygiene morning routine, right? So that's the next step. Then immediately after that, I go into the living room and I stretch. That's another thing that I had to really be intentional about, bro, because I done had some injuries and stuff like that. So I make sure I'm stretching every single day, make sure my mobility is on point, just basically getting the blood flowing throughout my body as soon as I wake up. Then immediately after I stretch, I drop down and I hit 50 push-ups straight. And another thing too, if you want to actually see step by step what I do on a daily basis, follow me on Instagram. It's going to be linked in the description. It's going to be pinned in the comments. I might even put it on the screen or something like that. But this is where you can literally see me doing my daily routine. You can see what I do on a daily basis on Instagram. So make sure you follow me on there so you see everything that's going on behind the scenes when I'm not on YouTube. But yeah, so I do my 50 push-ups. Boom. Why do I do these 50 push-ups? Because the last thing I want to do probably 20 minutes after I just woke up is start doing some push-ups, right? But this forces me to be disciplined because this is doing something that I really don't want to do, right? But also it's just, like I said, it's just getting that blood flowing into my body, and it's just helping me wake up, and it's just raising the state, because now it's like my energy's flowing, I'm more elevated, I'm at a higher frequency, so now I'm ready to attack the day. Now let's backtrack a little bit, right? So I also go to the gym 4 times a week. Now this is subject to change, but currently my split is I go to the gym on Saturday, Sunday, Monday, and Tuesday. The time of me recording this video, it is Tuesday. So on these days, well, on Monday and Tuesday, I wake up at 4:30 in the morning. 4:30 in the morning. It takes me 30 minutes to do my full morning routine. Then I go hit the gym, right? So, and then on Saturday and Sunday, I wake up at like 6 a.m. and I go hit the gym, right? But what I'm telling you is I wake up extremely early to do something I really could care less to do. You know, as much as I really love going to the gym, I probably have the same distaste for going to the gym, because who really wants to really just go to the gym every single day? Some days you're going to wake up, bro, you're not going to want to go to the gym. But this is the first thing I do when I'm scheduled to go to the gym. This is one of the first things that I do. Why? Because I'm forcing myself to be disciplined. Forcing myself to be disciplined. See, yesterday I was thinking, right? Because today, on Tuesdays, I do leg day. One of my least favorite workouts is leg day. Like, I love doing chest, I love doing arms. They're my favorite things to work out. I don't really care about shoulders and back. I definitely don't care about legs. Not saying that I don't care about it like I don't hit the muscle groups, but these are just my least favorite workouts, right? So yesterday I was thinking like, oh man, I gotta hit legs tomorrow. I gotta hit legs tomorrow. I gotta hit legs tomorrow. Then it literally dawned on me. I don't gotta do anything. I get to go to the gym tomorrow and hit legs. Simple as that. Then I started reflecting. I remember when I couldn't get out of bed by myself, right? I was thinking back to when I was injured and I literally couldn't do anything on my own. So it's like, it's a blessing now to be able to go to the gym on my own, go get this work in, and just going about my day. It's a blessing to be able to do that, because there are people who want to go to the gym who can't go to the gym, right? So I had to think back to that, like, wait. I'm blessed to be able to go to the gym. So this ain't no I get to. This ain't no I got to. This is a I get to. So let me reshape my focus. Let me lock in and let me appreciate the fact that I get to go to the gym, and let's crush this workout. So I woke up this morning. So now we're going back to the morning routine, right? So stay with me, because I told you the third thing that I do is I stretch, do my 50 push-ups, right? And so after that, immediately after that, I crack open the Bible and I read the daily proverb. One thing that I always do is whatever day of the month it is, that's the proverb that I read. So I'm instantly connecting and seeking God out, seeking his wisdom, connecting with God. And I'm documenting all this on my Instagram so I can show y'all exactly what's going on. So it's not like I'm just telling y'all to do something that I'm not already doing myself. So I'm reading my daily proverb, getting my wisdom for the day, meditating on it. See, this is another thing that I had to really be accountable about. In the past, I used to kind of just read just to kind of get it done and not really meditate on it, not really ponder over it. But now it's like when I crack the Bible open, it's like sheer focus, like in, let's get this wisdom. Let's give God this time right here and avoid all the distractions. Lock in, get this wisdom, and then meditate on it. I don't just instantly, as soon as I finish reading the proverb of the day, I don't just close the Bible. I meditate on it a little bit. Certain verses might start speaking to me more than others, so I meditate on them. I lock in on them, like, what is this verse telling me right now? Then I just meditate on that, and then boom, immediately after I read my daily proverb, if it's a gym day, I go to the gym. So this morning I went to the gym. Like I said, today was leg day. So I did my warm up on the treadmill or whatever. It's like I put it on the incline and I like walk backwards on the treadmill because it helped with my knees and whatnot. And so I was doing my warm up, going through the motions, and then the next thing I did was like leg extensions. And so as I'm doing leg extensions, I'm like doing my warm up set. Then I load the weight to do my first working set, and I'm like, this is kind of light. So basically, I went up like 30 pounds from what I was doing last week on the leg extensions, and I'm just like overly ecstatic because I'm like, okay, this is reinforcing the fact that I get to do this. So I'm just overly ecstatic in the fact that I get to be able to go to the gym, right? I get to put this work in. I get to put on this muscle. I get to reap the benefits. So long story short, just wrapped up the workout, did what I had to do, and I came back and I basically started with the rest of my day. And so when I come back from the gym, basically I just, take a shower, get ready for work, make me something to eat. When I'm in the gym, I'll be recording some downloads, like anything that's flowing in my head while I'm working out. Like I said, you have to follow me on Instagram to get this behind the scenes access, bro. This is literally free game every single day on my story. It's like you're literally watching a movie. It's like a little mini live stream on my story, bro. So make sure you go follow me on Instagram. But yeah, so after the gym, just come through, do my little morning routine. So yeah, after the gym, I just come home, take a shower, get ready for work, things of that nature. Then boom, I shoot off to work. So while I'm at work, I just, I work at this appointment setting sales job. So like I said, in the call center. So I do, I do my work and whatnot, but I'm also actively journaling. Like I'm listening to a YouTube video or a podcast while I'm at work, and I'm journaling, letting all this information that's in my head flow onto the paper. Because if you anybody like me, I know you are, you got millions and millions and millions of ideas, different thoughts, things that just flowing in your head. You got to put this stuff on paper, especially if it's ideas and plans. You got to put this stuff on paper so it can become reality. Because as soon as you put it on paper, it's going to stick with you as opposed to just trying to keep it in your head. You got to put it on paper so it can become something tangible. And then it's like all throughout this. So while I'm at work, this is, see, because if you look at my Instagram story, you look at my post on Instagram, it's like, okay, well, you saying that you at work, so how are you still posting? How are you getting all this stuff done, right? Because I post 2 to 3, sometimes 4 reels a day, and I post anywhere from 15 to 20 stories a day. But if I'm working from 7:30 to 3 o'clock, 4 o'clock, how am I still doing this? Because the daily routine, the habits, the discipline. I take time out to batch record videos. So that way, because this is one thing that I was bad about, bro. Bad about. I used to always record content and upload it the same day. And it was literally the worst process ever. Now what is much more liberating, gives me much more space to think, much more free time to work on other things that move the needle forward. So I just take one day out, Saturday, batch record 10 videos straight in a row. Don't do anything else until the 10 videos done. So that way during the week, I can post my reels while I'm at work, right? So I post my first one on my first break. I post my second one on my second break. I post my third one as soon as I get home. So that way, since they're already recorded, I just go to the drafts, boom, post. It's easy because I took the time out to make it easy for me Saturday. And so this is all throughout my daily routine. When I first pull up to work in the morning, I'm recording downloads. I'm recording daily insights, putting it on my story, putting y'all on game. Just, sharing my story, sharing my insights, sharing my perspective. When I get home from work, I'm doing the same thing. I'm posting my reel and I'm sharing my insights. I'm documenting my journey. I'm documenting my daily process every single day on the stories. Because for one, it's like in the back of my mind, I know that if I'm not documenting these things, I'm not doing my job. I'm not being disciplined. But at the same time, it's like I cannot tell y'all to do things that I'm not showing y'all daily that I'm doing these things. If I tell you that I'm doing these things every single day, I'm gonna show you that I'm doing them every single day. And if it's something that I miss, like for example, oftentimes like I'll post what I'm eating for breakfast, right? There was this one day, I think it was like last week, I woke up, bro. I had a headache. It was just like, bro. One thing I can't stand is waking up with a headache. Like it's one thing that already be woke up and just throughout the day you generate a headache. However, but if once I wake up with a headache, it's like, it messes with my energy. So I skip my breakfast. I just had like a protein shake or something like that. Then later on that day in the stories, way after work, I ate my breakfast meal for dinner. But I put all this on my story. I'm like, I missed breakfast today, letting y'all know what's going on the stories. And then I posted the content and still got everything done that I needed to get done. But why do I say this though? Because I'm holding myself accountable. I'm holding myself accountable by posting these things every single day. Holding myself accountable, forcing myself to be disciplined. Checking these things off every single day. I check off my 4-step morning routine every single day. I check off all the content that I post every single day. I check off everything that I'm doing. So that's just the 4-step morning routine. I kind of like went on a tangent about that. I kind of tied it into something else because we was talking about 5-4-5. You got to just bear with me because my mind be all over the place. But at least I caught it. The last 5 is the 5 daily action steps. Now these 5 daily action steps should be all in accordance to the 5 goals that you have. Now I told you that you set actionable goals, right? So these 5 action steps reinforce the goals. Even your 4-step morning routine reinforces the goals. But really the 4-step morning routine is strictly to raise the state and force you to be disciplined. You raise your frequency in the morning. It sets the tone for the day. That way you go and attack the day as opposed to waking up all lethargic, not connecting with God, instantly getting on your phone, scrolling on social media, distracting yourself, brainwashing yourself. Now your day is already messed up. No, I'm raising the state as soon as I get up. Waking up at 4:30 in the morning, I'm raising the state. I'm getting to it because I have a plan. I know what I got to do as soon as I wake up. So I'm waking up with energy. I'm waking up motivated. I'm waking up like I'm jumping out the bed like, let's get it. Because I already know what I got to do because I planned it yesterday. And so like I was saying, you have to have 5 daily action steps that reinforce the goals that you're trying to accomplish. Now, this could be anything depending upon the goals that you set for yourself. That's how you create these 5 daily action steps. Now, this is another thing that helped me because I tend to overcomplicate things, tend to have perfectionist tendencies or whatever you want to call it, right? So these 5 daily action steps are the number one most important thing that I can do to move the needle forward towards one of those 5 goals. You don't set your daily action steps towards something that does not move the needle forward today, right? So everything that's in those daily action steps should be moving the needle forward, should be helping you get one step closer to the goals. It should be beneficial. Like journaling could be a daily step. One thing you got to do every single day is journal. One thing I have on my daily action step is post my 2 to 3 reels and my 15 to 20 stories. And I check off these 5 daily steps as well. Everything is documented. Everything is tracked because what gets measured gets, or I don't know how to say it. I didn't just butcher it. I'm not even gonna edit that part out. But basically when you measure something, you can improve it. But if you don't track anything, you're not gonna be able to improve it. Y'all know how to say it. Go drop it in the comments down below if you know what I'm trying to say. But yes, I check off each one of these things every single day from the 4-step morning routine. One thing after another, I check it off. You don't move on to the next thing until what you're currently working on is complete. You have to document all of these things. And this is every single day. It don't matter how I feel. It don't matter what time I went to sleep. Last night, I probably went to sleep around 12:30. Still woke up at 4:30 this morning, ready to get it. Because what am I not gonna do? Oh, I should have got some more sleep. I should have went to bed earlier. I don't know. Once that alarm go off, it's time to lock in. It's time to get with it, right? So what I typically like to do is I'll set my alarm for 4:25. So my first alarm go off at 4:25. That way I just give myself 5 minutes while I'm still laying down. Like, okay, let me mentally get right. So that way when that 4:30 alarm go off, boom, I'm up, right? So this is something that you need to do. If you struggle with getting out the bed, set alarms like that. Another thing that you can do is like put your phone in another room, put your phone across the room, so that way you have to get up out the bed to cut that alarm off. Now I'm gonna tell you this, bro. If you somebody who let's say you put your phone on your dresser, right, and then your alarm is going off. If you're someone who will get out of the bed, cut your alarm off, and get back in the bed, click off this video. Because this is not for you. I'm not talking to you. If you don't have that much discipline to cut your alarm off and get your day started and not get back in the bed, click off. I'm being dead serious because this video is not for you, bro. But why do I stress the importance of a daily routine? Because it gives you clarity and it gives you vision and it gives you direction. Everything that you do reinforces the why. You get what I'm saying? It would not make sense if I didn't know why I'm doing these things that I'm doing every single day. But like I said, everything that I do on a daily basis reinforces me getting to one of the 5 goals that I have set for myself. And the thing about these goals is I put them in like a 3 to 6 month time frame. Now, the thing about time frames with goals, it gets a little bit tricky. Because, for example, let's say that you have a goal to quit your job in the next 3 to 6 months. And you're doing your 5-4-5, you're taking all this action, da-da-da-da. But let's say 6 months come and you haven't been able to quit your job yet, right? Now, if you set this 3 to 6 month window and you realize that the time is up and you still haven't accomplished the goal yet, that can be a little bit discouraging, right? But this is why you don't just strictly focus on the time frame. Because you could literally quit the job 6 months, 1 day later. And so it makes no sense to be so disappointed that you didn't do it in 6 months if you can still get it done, right? Now, I don't say that to just be like, you can just give yourself all the time in the world to accomplish goals. I literally set the 3 to 6 month time frame in because it's like, I made a video about this a few days ago. It's all about speed, right? Think about the goals that you have set for yourself. Somebody has the same goals as you, but they put a deadline on it in half the time of what you got. So for example, let's say that somebody has a goal to make $10,000 a month by the end of the year, to be consistently making $10,000 a month by the end of the year, right? Or to make a certain amount of money by the end of the year, to make $100,000 by the end of the year. But somebody else has a goal to make $100,000 in 6 months. So when you think in terms of how much effort and energy someone is putting towards a goal to accomplish it in 6 months versus a year, who do you think is putting in more work? Because you got to think about it, bro. A year to accomplish one goal, that's a long time. You know, you got a whole year. You ain't got to go hard. You ain't got to put forth the effort. You can even take it. You can take a day off. You got 365 days. So what's taking 1 day off? But then it's like in the back of your mind, it's like, nah, I got 180 days. I got to do this today. Every day count. Every minute count. Right? So that's what you got to think. If anything, you set these goals for yourself and then you put a deadline on it, cut the deadline in half. Cut the deadline in half. Are you going to be willing to double the effort that you put in? Can you do that? So that's why I say the 3 to 6 month window. But you don't get caught up in that time frame. You get caught up in doing the inputs daily that reinforce you getting to the goal. Because if you're doing the things necessary that move the needle forward, you're going to get to the goal. I guarantee you're going to get to the goal. It might not be in the time frame that you had planned. Who cares? As long as you get the goal, that's what matters most, right? So the thing that guarantees that is the daily routine, being disciplined. You can't be somebody who inconsistent, bro. You can't be somebody you wake up one day, oh, I'm motivated. Quay just dropped the video. I'm watching this video. I'm getting fired up. I'm finna do the 5-4-5. Then you do it for 2 days. You wake up on that third day. The motivation is gone. That's when it start right there. That's when it start. Don't nobody care about Don't nobody care about what you do when you motivated. Everybody gonna have spurs of motivation when they get stuff done. Nobody cares. What do you do when you ain't got the motivation? What can you rely on then? Strictly the discipline, strictly the habits, strictly your standards, right? Strictly the frame of mindset that you operate out of, the belief system that you have, the faith that you have. This is what governs you when you ain't got no motivation, because motivation is going to go just as fast as it can. So if you somebody, I got to watch this video to get motivated. I got to rely on motivation to put this work in. You're not going to make it. You're not going to make it. So this is why I tell you, bro, you have to do things that reinforce discipline. Discipline is the number one thing that's going to get you to your success. That's going to get you to becoming the best version of yourself. So if you don't have a morning routine, you already behind. Somebody like me is lapping you up, right? So you have to analyze your life and just look at how you just doing whatever. and ain't getting nowhere. You understand what I'm saying? Like discipline is like having a paintbrush, right? And you have an instructor guiding you on how to use this paintbrush to make this masterpiece. But relying strictly on motivation is like you don't have somebody guiding you. You don't have a paintbrush. You just slanging paint on the canvas, hoping that you make a mosaic masterpiece, right? It don't work like that. Don't make no sense. So this is why you have disciplinary tasks that you must complete each and every day, right? On top of waking up early. See, the thing about it is you're not going to sleep until you get this stuff done. But the thing about it is, by the time it's time to go to sleep, you should have everything done. This is why I say you don't move on to the next thing until you get the first thing that you're working on accomplished. You see how much passion and energy I'm speaking with? Because my 5-4-5 routine reinforces me, it rejuvenates me, right? You know how when you go to the gym and you put all this work in, you tired, supposedly, right? That's not how it worked for me. Like, yeah, you might be getting like a little fatigued and all this different stuff, right? Of course, duh, you working your muscles out, right? But what I'm saying is you get an energy boost. You get momentum because you depositing something beneficial into your progression as a man. So when you go to the gym, you put it in a deposit of doing something that's going to help you on down the line. So that way, them deposits going to build up. That momentum going to build up. Three months from now, 6 months from now, you're going to be looking at your physique like, I'm glad I was being consistent. I'm glad I had that level of discipline to still go even when I didn't feel like it, right? But what's the alternative, bro? What's the alternative? Being stuck in a position that you don't want to be in. Looking in the mirror, not liking what you see. Looking at the girl that you're so attracted to and she is not checking for you. That's the alternative. So this is why I always talk about weighted price versus the cost. What's the price that you got to pay of being disciplined, of having consistent daily routine, right? What's the price that you have to pay? You got to wake up a little bit earlier, maybe a lot earlier, right? You're not going to be scrolling on your phone as much. You may have to go to bed earlier. You know, you may have to do things that you don't necessarily want to do. You may have to make certain sacrifices, tell certain people no, cut certain people off, cut back on your spending. Like these are the prices that you got to pay depending on what route you in your life, right? You might got to work overtime at your job. You might got to work the job, then come home, work on the business. You know what I'm saying? These are things that you got to do. That's the price that you got to be willing to pay in terms of getting the goals that you want. Because I'm telling you, bro, whatever goal that you got set for yourself, you can have that goal. You can accomplish it, I guarantee you. The desire to accomplish it is the proof that you can get it. Let that sink in. The desire that you have to accomplish something, to obtain something, is all the proof that you need that you can get it. Right? But what's the cost of not being disciplined? I was just naming a few things. Looking in the mirror, being a fat, ugly slob, and having to deal with that every single day because it's your fault. Right? Not being able to get the high quality woman and high quality relationship that you want because you ain't become the person capable of attracting it, but it's your fault, right? Being stuck at a job that you cannot stand, that they ain't gonna never promote you, you ain't gonna never get no raise, so you're just gonna be sick. But it's your fault because you didn't want to put in the work and make the sacrifices. So you gotta realize, bro, are you willing to pay the price of being disciplined to get to what you want, to become the person that you want to be? Are you willing to strictly follow a daily routine that forces you to be disciplined, that forces you to take action every single day? Or are you going to be somebody who sit on the sidelines, complaining, procrastinating, making excuses, blaming everybody else for your mistakes, for your mess ups, for your lack of achievement? You're going to be blaming everybody else? Well, that's on you, bro. That's on you. But I know deep down inside that you don't want to continue to live like that, right? Because maybe you've been taking some action, but you're just inconsistent. Maybe you've seen a little bit of progress, but then you stopped doing what got you to progress. See, that's one thing that I had to realize, bro. If you do something and it's proven to work, why would you stop doing it? Because you're not disciplined. You only stop because you're not disciplined, bro. I'm telling you that. So the overarching thing that I'm telling you is the morning routine is 100% important. You need this morning routine, not morning routine. You need this daily routine. You need this daily routine that forces you to create positive, beneficial habits. But none of this is going to be possible unless you have the discipline. You're going to have to be able to shut up that voice that's telling you stop, that's telling you take a break, that's telling you skip the gym, that's telling you go out to eat, that's telling you spend this money, that's telling you to do all that BS. You got to be able to alleviate all that by having that sheer force discipline, right? And what's going to reinforce your discipline, like I was saying earlier, is the why. Knowing exactly why you waking up at 4:30 in the morning. Knowing exactly why you going to the gym. Knowing exactly why you working your job, working overtime, and still working on your business on the side. You got to know exactly why you doing this. Because that why, that's going to give you that fuel when you ain't got no motivation. That why, that burning desire, that's what's going to give you that fuel to continue to be disciplined. That self-reflecting that you do when you just sit in the bed thinking about how far you done came, that's what's going to keep you going. So I'm telling you, bro, it's very simple. It's very simple. Nothing I've said in this video is complex. It's just that simple requires discipline. Discipline is freedom. The lifestyle that you want, the money that you want, the women that you want, it all lies behind the discipline. The top 1%, they operate with the utmost discipline. It's not a secret. It's not a hack. It's not a finesse. It's not a get rich quick scheme. It's nothing like that. It's strictly the discipline. Are you going to put in the work every single day, even when you don't feel like it? Even when you sore? Even when she just cheated on you, and even when you just got fired, even when you ain't seeing no progress? Are you willing to get up and do it again? If you are, you will attract the things that you want. You will accomplish your goals. You will see the progress daily, and you are not going to want to stop. Because once these things become a part of you, you become a new person. Once you fall in love with the discipline, bro, you're going to be unstoppable, bro. I got the link in my description. If you want to book a one-on-one call with me to invest in this one-on-one mentorship, if you're ready to take your life to the next level, you're ready to focus on your self-improvement and focus on attracting that woman that you want. If that's the route that you want to go and you're willing to put in that work, book the call. We'll chop it up. We'll see if you're a good fit. And if you are a good fit, it's on and popping. It's on and popping. I'm telling you. It's not going to be easy, but I'm telling you it's going to be worth it. And also, like I said it enough. My Instagram is also going to be in the comments in the description. Make sure you follow me on Instagram so you can actually put your eyes on everything that I said in this video. After you watch this video, go click through my stories and you'll see me doing my push-ups, right? You'll see me hitting the gym. You'll see me read my daily proverb. You'll see my daily downloads and insights. You'll see me posting my reels every single day to reinforce and prove everything that I'm saying. So I can't just be mindlessly talking and telling you to do something I'm not doing. This is how you can stay connected with me. If you got some extra questions, drop them in the comments down below. If you want some advice or some free game, DM me on Instagram. I reply to all my DMs. I reply to all my comments. But at the end of the day, bro, you got to be serious if you want to join this Kingdom Coalition. Simple. If you enjoyed this video, make sure you like, comment, subscribe, and I'm out.